Thanks to NiSi for sponsoring this video. What if I told you the images you're seeing here weren't shot with a macro lens, but rather with a kit zoom lens? That's right. So in this video, I will show you how you can get these types of images with your own zoom lens. So if you're on a budget, don't own a macro lens, or are traveling and are tight on space and weight, this may be exactly what you're looking for. So today I am out in the field looking to do a bit of macro photography. Now, I have a bit of a cold snap this week, and so it's currently 13 degrees Celsius, which is pretty chilly in a subtropical climate. But there's not many insects around the place or flowers at the moment. It's very dormant. There's a lot of hibernating, but hopefully when the sun comes up, it'll ignite them and they'll be zooming around in no time. So today I won't be using a macro lens. Instead, I will be using my trusty Nikon 24-200 zoom lens. Now this is a really versatile lens. You know, I do everything with it. I do hiking with it, I do kayaking with it, I do landscapes with it, I do wildlife with it. I even shoot some corporate videos with it, but I haven't actually done any macro photography with it until today. So the one weird trick to turn your zoom lens into a macro lens, like the Nikon 24-200, is to attach a close-up diopter, like the NiSi Close Up lens. This has turned my already versatile lens into a real do-it-all lens. This version of the close-up lens has a 77mm filter thread. Now my Nikon 24-200 has a 67mm filter thread, but luckily in the kit are included step-up rings, 67-77mm and a 72-77mm ring. So today I will be using the 67-77mm step-up ring. There are also two other close-up lens options, that being a 49mm and 58mm version. Now to get true one-to-one magnification with the close-up lens, you need a lens with a focal length from 70 to 300, with about 200 being the sweet spot for true one-to-one magnification. Now one-to-one magnification is the same amount of magnification for a dedicated macro lens. Let me explain what I mean. Here is the Nikon 105mm macro lens, a lens with a one-to-one magnification. And here is the same view with the Nikon 24-200, but with the close-up lens attached. Kinda hard to tell the difference here. The working distance here to get that one-to-one magnification is about 30 centimeters, which isn't too bad all things considered. Now this means that you won't be crowding over your subject, with the chance to scare them away and miss the shot. Now one thing I want to say here, with the close-up lens attached, you can't shoot any wide or telephoto shots, only subjects closer to the camera. Now that sounds pretty obvious, but something to keep in mind. To give you an idea of how powerful these little lenses are, here is a shot with the close-up lens off, and here is a shot with it attached. Notice how the details in the image stay the same. Unreal. When using these types of close-up diopters, there's always a risk that it's going to impact your image quality. But with the NiSi close-up lens, look, image quality is fantastic, colors are fantastic, sharpness is fantastic. Also, chromatic aberrations have been eliminated. It's been designed to reduce any type of chroma effects, which is just fantastic for macro photography. Sharpness is an important detail with macro photography, and this close-up lens maintains the lens's original sharpness. There really is no degrading of the image here. Incredible. Okay, so I'm about to do a bit of macro photography here. I've got my Nikon Z8, my Nikon 24-200, my flash, my diffuser, and on the front here is the NiSi 77mm close-up lens filter. So let's get to it. Hopefully the sun has warmed up these little fellas and I can get some great insect shots this morning. Let's do it. All right, so I've found these little flowers just here and over here. So I'm just going to give these a little bit of a go. Let's see, there we go, zoom all the way in. So that looks pretty good, but it's not very photogenic. So what I'm going to do now, maybe just change the angle. Find where we are again. And that looks alright. Not too bad. Some really cool textures on this leaf here. Some cool textures to play with, sort of abstract. Not that sexy, but still pretty interesting to see. Love a good leaf texture. Let's keep going. So, finally, an insect. So I have an ant here, 2 ants. So they're just warming themselves up by the looks. Honestly, I'm a little bit not used to such a large working distance, to be honest with you. I'm used to being up close and personal with macro lenses. So it's taking me a little bit of a while to get used to that, but that's okay. It's a little bit more comfortable. That's what I want. That's the one. I always like to get ants when they're sort of peering out into the abyss. Feelers going off, sniffing the air. It's always a good shot. Everyone's favourite, the jumping spider. Just found this little green and camouflage one right here, just on these leaves. Just his little tail is sticking up over the end here. Okay. Yeah. Quite a cheeky move. So the sun's coming up, it's getting a little bit warmer. So I'm going to keep following around the end of the grass here. The only issue shooting this way is with the sun behind me, it's going to cast a shadow. So if there's any sort of insects that are just waking up, trying to warm their wings up, they're going to bolt straight away. So might have to come in from an angle. I'll keep moving along, but I'll come in from an angle and I should be able to get some nicer lit shots from there. I can see some little sort of gnats zooming around. That's always a good sign when these guys are starting. It's usually the birds kick off, so it's a sort of a chain reaction of everything. 2 flies. So if I sneak in like this, gotta love that working distance. Doge. It's a good sign that there's insects kicking off again. So there are, you probably can't see it with this camera, but there are some sort of, I'm not sure what fly, they look like fruit flies. They have really long stems. There's also an ant's nest in here. I'll try and get a shot in there. There's another one here. I do like the shadow that the sun's casting on them. That's pretty cool. So I've got some good shots there, I think. Let's keep moving. Now in here, I have everyone's favourite blowflies. So what I'm going to do, it's a bit hard in this shot because I will cast a shadow at the moment. So let's see if I can get a shot here. Working distance, gotta love it. Okay, so I just want to get a shot of these strands of spider web. There's a big spider up there. There's a golden orb spider. A little bit late for it in the season. We have a stink bug and some other flying bug. Let's see if I can get the flying bug. Sometimes get stink bugs, weevils and ticks confused at first glance, so don't judge me. Just watching the stink bug, I can just see its legs popping up. Working distance, gotta love it, fantastic. Not sure what it is. Looks like a moth. Looks like a finch, to be honest, the bird. What I like to do is, because this is a zoom lens, I like to zoom out, work out where my subject is, and then crank it in. Now, I've used these types of diopters in the past, and they were always extremely disappointing. But the NiSi Close Up lens has really impressed me, especially with the image quality. The fact that sharpness is maintained across the image is just unreal. Now, would this replace a dedicated macro lens? Absolutely not. But if you only own one lens or are on a budget, this will provide you some incredible macro opportunities. Trust me. As usual, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.